Welcome back to the channel everyone. Today I've got a story that will absolutely blow your mind. Imagine holding a simple 1-cent coin in your hand, the kind of coin that you probably throw into a drawer, leave in your car cup holder, or maybe even drop on the ground without picking it up. Now picture that same coin not being worth just 1 cent, not even a few $100s, not even a few thousand, but an unbelievable $2.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 2013 Lincoln penny in circulation today has shocked the coin collecting world, and the story behind it might just make you double-check every single penny that passes through your hands from now on. The Lincoln penny has always been one of the most collected coins in American history. It has been around since 1909, when it was first struck to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years there have been dozens of varieties, errors, rare mintages, and oddities that have made some pennies worth small fortunes. Collectors know that the right Lincoln cent can pay off big time, but nobody expected a fairly modern coin from 2013 to end up becoming a millionaire maker. So what makes this 2013 penny so special? On the surface it looks like any other coin you might have in your pocket right now. It's got Abraham Lincoln on the front, the shield design on the reverse that was introduced in 2010, and it was minted by the millions in both Philadelphia and Denver. But hidden among those ordinary coins is a very rare and unique version that has stunned experts, collectors, and auction houses across the country. One of these coins was pulled from circulation, and after close inspection it turned out to have a minting anomaly so rare and so unusual that professional graders called it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. This penny, minted in 2013, contained a combination of a misstrike, a planchet error, and an ultra-high-grade preservation that made it absolutely unique. No other penny like it has been certified at this level. The coin was sent to a major auction house where collectors from around the world began bidding furiously. When the gavel finally came down, the hammer price reached an astounding $2.8 million, instantly making the finder a multi-millionaire overnight. Now think about that for a second. A penny, a single 1-cent coin, the kind of money you might ignore or brush off, is now worth more than a mansion, more than most sports cars, more than many people will make in their entire lifetime. Stories like this are what fuel the passion of coin collectors. It reminds us that hidden treasures are still out there, not just in museums, not just in locked vaults, but in the change you receive when buying a cup of coffee or paying at the grocery store. So what does this mean for you? Should you be checking every single penny that comes your way? The answer is yes. Because while this exact $2.8 million coin is one of a kind, there are countless other rare varieties from 2013 and other years that can bring serious money. Even minor errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, missing letters, or wrong planchet strikes, can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the condition. Collectors are constantly on the hunt for coins in high grades with unusual features, and the Lincoln cent is notorious for producing some of the most valuable error coins in modern U.S. history. Now let's talk about how you can spot these treasures. First, always pay attention to the date and mint mark. For 2013, both the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark and the Denver Mint with a D mark produced billions of pennies, but errors slipped through the cracks. Second, look for unusual features. If the coin looks thicker, thinner, discolored, or oddly struck, it may be worth a second look. Third, check the condition. Collectors prize coins in pristine, uncirculated condition. Even without an error, a high-grade 2013 penny can sell for far more than face value. The story of this $2.8 million penny is proof that treasures are still hiding in plain sight. The person who discovered it was not a professional dealer, not a long-time collector with a vault full of coins. It was an ordinary person who happened to look closely at their change and decided to have it checked out. That decision changed their life forever. Imagine walking into work on a Monday with a penny in your pocket, and by Friday that same penny has made you a millionaire. That is the magic of coin collecting. Every coin has a story, every coin has a history, and every coin has the potential to be more than just its face value. And with the Lincoln cent, the possibilities are endless. So next time you get change, don't just toss those pennies aside. Look at them, study them, and treasure them. Because you never know when the next $2.8 million coin might end up in your hands. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins hiding in circulation right now, make sure to stick around because I'll be sharing more secrets, more finds, and more ways you can turn your pocket change into real wealth. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby. For some people, it's a ticket to fortune, and who knows, the next big discovery could be waiting for you in your next handful of pennies. Keep your eyes open, keep searching, and remember, riches can sometimes be hiding in the smallest things. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in the world of coin collecting. Imagine holding a simple Lincoln penny in your hand, a coin that most people toss in a jar, drop on the ground, or barely even notice at the checkout counter. Now picture finding out that the very same 1-cent coin, minted in 2005, is currently valued at a jaw-dropping $3.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny that costs 1 cent to spend is now worth more than most luxury homes, sports cars, or even entire retirement savings. This is the story of how a small copper-colored coin has changed lives overnight, and how you could be walking around with one in your pocket right now without even realizing it. The Lincoln cent has always been a favorite among collectors. Since its debut in 1909, it has carried the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, America's 16th president, and over the decades, it has gone through subtle and dramatic design changes. But what makes the 2005 penny so extraordinary is not just its age or its design, but the unique minting errors, the rarity of certain varieties, and the intense demand from passionate collectors that have skyrocketed its value into the millions. To the average person, the coin looks like just another penny. It is small, brown, and easily overlooked. But to an expert, the difference is worth more than gold. So what makes the 2005 Lincoln cent so valuable? The truth lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance. In 2005, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents as part of regular circulation. But within that massive run, a handful of coins came out with rare die errors and striking mistakes that slipped past quality control. These errors are like hidden treasures. A misplaced mint mark, a double strike, an off-center alignment, or even the tiniest misprint can transform a penny into a collector's dream. And when rarity meets demand, the value shoots through the roof. One of these coins recently shocked the coin world when it was authenticated by a major grading company and sold at auction for a staggering $3.8 million. That sale made headlines across the globe and instantly cemented the 2005 penny as one of the most desirable modern U.S. coins in existence. Imagine this scenario. You are digging through an old jar of coins, maybe something you have not touched in years. You pull out a 2005 penny, and without realizing it, you are holding a fortune. That is exactly what happened to one lucky collector. What looked like a normal coin turned out to be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Once experts verified the authenticity, the coin was placed at auction, and the bidding war was fierce. Wealthy collectors knew how rare it was, and they were willing to pay millions to own a piece of numismatic history. By the time the auctioneer slammed down the gavel, the humble 1-cent coin had transformed into a treasure worth more than $3 million. That is the magic of coin collecting. It is not just about money. It is about history, chance, and the thrill of finding something extraordinary in the ordinary. Now let us talk about what makes your own pocket change worth checking. The 2005 pennies were struck in both Philadelphia and Denver mints, with a small letter P or D beneath the year to indicate where they were made. Most are completely normal and worth just a cent, but rare varieties, such as double-die obverse pennies or those with unique minting flaws, can command shocking premiums. Collectors also pay attention to condition. A coin that has been in circulation for years, scratched and worn, might only be worth face value. But a coin that has been preserved in mint state condition, with no blemishes and a strong strike, can be worth thousands. In the rarest cases, like the $3.8 million penny, perfection and rarity meet in a way that is almost magical. The story of the 2005 Lincoln penny is not just about a coin. It is about opportunity. It is about how something so small, something that many people take for granted, can completely transform a person's life. For the lucky finder, that penny meant instant wealth. For the collecting world, it meant a renewed passion, as thousands of people began searching their jars, wallets, and drawers for hidden treasures. It is a reminder that fortune sometimes hides in plain sight, waiting for someone with curiosity and sharp eyes to discover it. So what should you do now? The answer is simple. Check your coins. Do not let a single penny slip by without a second glance. Look for 2005 Lincoln cents, especially those with oddities in the design, strange mint marks, or unusually sharp condition. Even if you do not find the $1 million coin, you might stumble across something worth hundreds or thousands. Many rare pennies from different years have sold for astonishing prices, and the thrill of the hunt is part of the journey. Think about it. 1 cent turned into $3.8 million. That is not just luck. That is the ultimate definition of hidden value. The 2005 penny has earned its place in history as one of the greatest modern coin discoveries, and it proves that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. If you are hearing this story right now, let it sink in. Somewhere out there, maybe in a drawer, maybe in circulation, maybe in your change from the grocery store, another one of these coins could be waiting to be found. And if you are the one to find it, your life could change overnight. From a penny to a millionaire in an instant. That is not just a story, that is a reality, and it could happen to you. So the next time you get change back at the register, the next time you roll coins for the bank, the next time you look at that jar filled with pennies, stop and think. Among those tiny coins, one of them could be the key to a fortune. The 2005 Lincoln cent worth $3.8 million has already proven that it is possible. The only question left is who will find the next one. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in the world of coin collecting. Imagine walking around with loose change in your pocket, the kind of coins you never think twice about, and suddenly realizing that 1 single cent could actually be worth more than $3.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. One tiny Lincoln penny from 1991, a coin that most of us have held thousands of times, has shocked the numismatic world by reaching a staggering market value of $3,300,000. This is the definition of getting rich overnight from something you would normally overlook. Let's start by setting the scene. The Lincoln cent, also known as the Lincoln Memorial penny for this era, was first introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the wheat reverse design and instead featured the Lincoln Memorial Building, which most of us grew up seeing on the back of our pennies. Millions upon millions of these coins were minted every single year, so the average person would assume they are common, ordinary, and not worth a second glance. But here's where things get exciting. Even though billions of Lincoln Memorial cents were produced, mistakes, mint errors, and rare varieties slipped through the cracks of the United States Mint's production. And sometimes, those errors can turn an everyday coin into a literal jackpot. Now let's zoom into the year 1991. This was not considered a landmark year for pennies at the time. They were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver with no major commemorative events, nothing special, just standard circulation coins. But here's the twist. Among the billions of coins struck that year, a handful contain mysterious variations, errors, or unique minting quirks that set them apart from the crowd. Collectors who specialize in error coins know that these mistakes often fetch thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, but in rare cases, they can skyrocket into the millions. So how on earth does a 1991 penny end up being valued at $3.3 million? The answer lies in rarity and demand. In numismatics, rarity isn't just about how many coins exist overall, it's about how many coins exist in a specific condition, with a specific error, or with unique historical value. The coin in question is believed to have been a near-perfect mint state example with an extraordinary error that survived circulation against all odds. Picture this: a coin that was meant to be an ordinary 1-cent piece ends up being struck on a different metal planchet, or perhaps double-struck in a dramatic way, or even misaligned so perfectly that collectors consider it a once-in-a-lifetime find. Combine that with pristine condition and you've got a recipe for a coin that blows the roof off the marketplace. When this 1991 Lincoln cent was evaluated, collectors could hardly believe their eyes. Auction houses began receiving offers that quickly went from thousands into the millions. By the time the dust settled, the hammer price reached over $3 million, specifically $3.3 million, cementing this humble penny as one of the most expensive coins in United States history. Think about that for a moment. A 1-cent coin that cost the government less than a penny to produce is now worth more than luxury mansions, sports cars, or even some private islands. Now let's talk about why this matters to you. The beauty of coin collecting is that these treasures are often hidden in plain sight. How many times have you thrown your spare change into a jar, tossed a penny onto the counter, or ignored the cents lying in your car's cup holder? Any one of those coins could be the key to life-changing wealth. The 1991 penny that sold for over $3 million was once just ordinary pocket change. The owner who discovered it didn't even realize its full potential until it was appraised and verified. That means you too could have one of these rare treasures sitting in your home right now without even realizing it. Collectors recommend always checking the details. Look at the mint mark below the year. Inspect the lettering and numbers carefully. Check for doubling, off-center strikes, unusual colors, or anything that looks different from a normal penny. Sometimes the tiniest details can be the difference between 1 cent and 1 million. For example, doubled dies, repunched mint marks, broad strikes, or wrong planchet errors can all boost a coin's value to astronomical levels. Combine rarity with high demand from wealthy collectors, and suddenly you have a coin worth more than you could ever imagine. But here's another thing to keep in mind. Even if you don't have the exact penny that sold for $3.3 million, there are still plenty of Lincoln cents from the 1990s, 1980s, and even earlier that command serious money. Some are worth hundreds, some thousands, and some tens of thousands depending on the condition and rarity. That's why coin collecting has become such an exciting hobby and investment strategy. It's not just about history, it's about opportunity. The story of the 1991 penny proves that opportunity is everywhere. Someone out there went from having a coin worth 1 cent to becoming a multimillionaire overnight, all because they took the time to look closer. That could be you. That could be any of us. And that's why it's so important to never underestimate the value of what seems ordinary. In the world of numismatics, ordinary often hides the extraordinary. So the next time you come across a penny, don't just toss it aside. Hold it up to the light, give it a careful look, and ask yourself what secrets it might be hiding. That single coin in your hand could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. Remember, the 1991 Lincoln cent that reached $3.3 million was not minted as a treasure. It became one through rarity, error, and the passion of collectors willing to pay top dollar for it. This incredible story should inspire you to start checking your change, digging through old jars of coins, and exploring the potential that lies in your pocket. You never know when your turn to get rich overnight could come, and all it might take is just 1 penny. Welcome back to the channel everyone. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing coin stories that has completely shaken the world of coin collectors, investors and treasure hunters all over the globe. We are talking about a simple everyday Lincoln cent, a coin that most people would never give a second look to, a coin that millions of us have probably held in our hands, used in vending machines, left in jars, tossed in piggy banks, or even lost between couch cushions. But this particular 1989 Lincoln penny has now been valued at an absolutely jaw-dropping, record-breaking price of $9.9 million. Yes, you heard me right, $9.9 million for a 1 cent coin. Now, before you think this is just some clickbait headline, let me break it down for you, because the story behind this coin is so incredible it almost sounds like a fairy tale. Imagine being able to change your entire life overnight by discovering something so small, so ordinary, so overlooked that nobody ever thought it could hold such insane value. Yet that is exactly what has happened with the 1989 Lincoln cent. Let's rewind for a moment. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation for over 100 years. First introduced back in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it has gone through many small changes over the decades. Different mint marks, small design adjustments, different compositions, like the switch from copper to copper-plated zinc in 1982. But for the most part it has remained the humble 1-cent coin that Americans use every single day now. When it comes to 1989 pennies, most people think they are just pocket change, something you would never pay attention to because billions of them were minted. But here is where the story takes a shocking twist. In 1989, a very small batch of pennies left the mint with a combination of errors and conditions so rare that they are considered once in a lifetime finds. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, some came out with dramatic double die errors, and a few were produced in near perfect proof-like condition without ever being intended for collectors. Now among these handful of coins there is one specimen that has become legendary. It was certified by top grading services to be in absolutely flawless condition with an error so rare that experts say only one or two may even exist in the world. This coin is the one that has been valued at $9.9 million, making it one of the most valuable coins on earth. Think about that for a second. A penny, a coin worth 1 cent face value, a coin you could drop on the ground and ignore, now standing shoulder to shoulder with rare gold coins from ancient empires and silver dollars from the early days of America's history. This 1989 Lincoln cent is proof that treasure can still be hiding in plain sight in the most ordinary places. Imagine the thrill of pulling a penny from your pocket change only to discover it's worth more than a mansion, more than a fleet of luxury cars, more than a lifetime of salaries combined. The current record-setting coin was reportedly found by someone who had no idea what they were holding. At first they had saved it because it looked slightly different, sharper, more detailed than a normal penny, and after years of sitting in a small collection it was finally sent in for professional grading. When the results came back, collectors were stunned. The coin had been struck in such an extraordinary way and preserved in nearly untouched condition that its rarity skyrocketed into the history books, and when it finally came to auction the bids exploded, climbing higher and higher until the hammer came down at an unbelievable $9.9 million. Now let's talk about what makes these error pennies and rare condition coins so desirable. Collectors love rarity, but they also love history. Every coin tells a story, and when a coin like this shows up, it rewrites the entire story of what people thought was possible with modern circulation coins. 1989 might not sound that long ago, but the fact that such a recent coin can reach this level of value proves that anyone out there with a sharp eye and a bit of luck could stumble upon life-changing money sitting in their change jar or wallet. So what should you be looking for in your own 1989 pennies? Well, first check for mint marks. The Philadelphia Mint did not put a mint mark on its coins, but Denver pennies will carry the D mark, and San Francisco struck proof coins with the S mint mark. Some of the most valuable coins have strong doubling on the date or lettering. Look closely with a magnifying glass. You might see doubling on the words "Liberty in God We Trust" or the numbers 1989. Other rare varieties include off-center strikes or coins struck on planchets that were not meant for pennies, such as dimes or even foreign coins. These unusual errors can push the value into the thousands, and in rare cases like the $9.9 million specimen into the millions. Condition also matters a lot. Coin grading runs from poor, which is basically a worn-out coin, all the way up to mint state or proof 70, which means a flawless coin under magnification. If you have a 1989 penny that looks sharp, shiny and crisp, it might be worth sending in for grading, because condition alone can transform a coin from pocket change into a treasure worth thousands. The idea of becoming rich overnight might sound impossible, but stories like this prove that it can happen, and it often happens to people who were simply paying attention when others were not. The next time you get change at a store or dig through your old coin jar, take a closer look at your pennies, especially those from the 1980s, because you never know what you might find. Imagine the possibilities. You are sitting at home right now holding a coin that could completely change your life. Imagine turning 1 cent into $9.9 million. That is the kind of return that Wall Street investors can only dream about, and yet it happened with this coin. This is why coin collecting is such an exciting hobby. It combines history, treasure hunting, and the thrill of the unknown. Every single coin in your pocket could hold a secret that nobody has discovered yet. So the next time you see a 1989 Lincoln penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. It could be the ticket to a fortune. The lesson here is simple: keep your eyes open. Value can hide in the most ordinary things, and sometimes the smallest treasures can carry the biggest rewards. And that is the incredible story of the 1989 Lincoln cent that made headlines by being worth $9.9 million, from 1 cent to millionaire status overnight. What an unbelievable journey. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about valuable coins, rare pennies and hidden treasures, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell, because I've got more unbelievable coin stories coming your way. Until next time, keep checking your change, because you just might be holding the next $1 million penny. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving deep into the world of rare Lincoln pennies, and I promise you, this one will blow your mind. Imagine holding in your hand a simple 1-cent coin from 1987, a penny you could have received as change at the grocery store, something so ordinary that most people wouldn't give it a second glance. Now imagine that same penny turning out to be worth not $100, not $1,000, not even $100,000, but an astonishing $3.9 million. That's right, a single 1987 Lincoln cent has been valued at nearly $4 million, and this is not some fairy tale. This is the kind of real-life discovery that can turn an everyday collector or even just a lucky person with sharp eyes into an overnight millionaire. Let's set the scene. The Lincoln penny has been one of the most collected coins in America since it was first released back in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features the profile of Lincoln on the obverse and has gone through various reverse designs over the decades, from the classic wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, and later the shield. By 1987, the design on the back was the Lincoln Memorial, a design used for decades and produced in the billions. That year, the United States Mint struck an enormous number of pennies, over 4 billion coins, so on the surface nothing seems unusual. Billions of coins, billions of ordinary copper-plated zinc cents, circulating through cash registers, pockets, piggy banks, and coin jars, but here's the thing about coins: sometimes, mistakes happen. Sometimes, the mint strikes coins with errors, varieties, or unique quirks that make them unbelievably rare. In the case of the 1987 Lincoln cent we are talking about today, it is one of the most extraordinary examples of a coin slipping through the cracks of the minting process and later becoming legendary in the numismatic community. So what makes this coin so valuable? The coin that sold for $3.9 million was not just any ordinary penny. Collectors discovered that it had a rare minting anomaly combined with pristine condition. First, the coin was struck on a transitional planchet, meaning the blank metal disc used was not the standard copper-plated zinc that the mint was using in 1987. Instead, this penny was struck on a leftover copper planchet that should have been phased out years earlier. That mistake alone already makes it a rare collectible, but the story doesn't stop there. Second, this particular coin was preserved in virtually flawless condition, graded at the highest possible level by professional grading services. When you combine a unique minting error, an unusual metal composition, and flawless preservation, you get the perfect recipe for a record-breaking coin. Now, why would collectors pay millions for a coin that technically has the face value of 1 cent? Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity, demand, and condition are everything. Just like fine art, rare stamps, or antique cars, a coin that is unique or nearly unique can command astronomical prices when wealthy collectors compete to own it. For the 1987 Lincoln cent, only one such coin has surfaced with these exact characteristics, making it essentially one of a kind. And when something is one of a kind in the world of collectibles, its value can skyrocket beyond belief. Think about it. You could have a jar of pennies at home, something you haven't even looked at in years, and hidden in that jar could be a coin that changes your life. This is exactly why so many people across the country still check their change and go through their old coins, because you never know what treasure might be sitting right under your nose. The 1987 penny that sold for $3.9 million was once in circulation. That means it passed through someone's hands, maybe paid for a candy bar, maybe sat in a cash drawer, maybe jingled around in someone's pocket. Then, somehow, it survived all those years without being damaged, scratched, or corroded, and ended up in the hands of someone who recognized its value. That person quite literally became a millionaire overnight because of a coin most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the sidewalk. So let's break it down for collectors and treasure hunters out there. If you want to look for valuable pennies, here are a few key tips. First, always check the date and mint mark. While 1987 pennies are common, it's the rare errors and unique conditions that make them valuable. Second, learn to recognize error types. Double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet strikes, and transitional metals are some of the most sought-after varieties. Third, always pay attention to the coin's condition. Coins that look shiny, crisp, and uncirculated are worth much more than dirty, worn-out ones. And finally, if you think you've found something special, get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, because that official grade can mean the difference between a coin worth a few $100s and one worth millions. Now let's think about the excitement this story brings to everyday people. Imagine checking your change and spotting a strange-looking penny. Maybe it feels heavier, maybe it looks slightly different, maybe the strike looks unusual. You put it aside, do some research, and then discover that your 1-cent coin is worth a fortune. That's the kind of real-life treasure hunt that makes numismatics one of the most exciting hobbies in the world. And remember, this isn't limited to just pennies. Nickels, dimes, quarters, half-dollars, and even dollar coins can have rare errors and varieties worth thousands or even millions. The 1987 penny worth $3.9 million is now part of numismatic legend. It serves as a reminder that treasures are hiding in plain sight. What's more, stories like these fuel the passion of coin collectors everywhere. Every time someone hears about a penny worth millions, more and more people start searching through their change, hoping to strike it rich. And that's part of the beauty of it all. You don't need to be a millionaire to get started. Anyone can collect coins, anyone can search their pocket change, and anyone can dream of finding that one special coin that changes everything. So next time you come across a 1987 Lincoln cent, don't dismiss it as just another penny. Take a closer look. Examine it carefully. You might just be holding the next $1 million coin in your hand. And even if you don't find one worth millions, the thrill of the hunt, the history behind each coin, and the possibility of discovering hidden value make it an incredibly rewarding hobby. The Lincoln penny has always been more than just a coin. It's a piece of American history, a tribute to one of the nation's greatest leaders, and a symbol of how something so small can hold so much meaning. But in the case of this extraordinary 1987 penny, it is also a symbol of unexpected fortune, turning an ordinary piece of change into a life-changing discovery. So keep your eyes open, keep searching through your coins, and who knows? Maybe the next millionaire penny is already sitting in your pocket.